All right, it's going to be today's recap here for this July 11th, 2023. Take a look at my trades. Really good day today. Only had one trade on the indices. I took the E-mini S&P. Didn't have anything in gold. Didn't have anything in natural gas, crude oil. Some of the other indices like the mini Russell, the mini Nasdaq. I did have some trades, but I only went with the ES today. The E-mini S&P. As you know, I basically have 4 different patterns that I'm looking at. These are not what you call classical patterns. I'm not looking at support and resistance. I'm not looking at any kind of wedges or anything like that. These are basically how the bars line up in a series, okay? And so we have 4 that we have identified that give us real strong indication that the market's either going to go up or down. All right. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others, but in none of the case, it does also give us some indication of the size of the move. So we did have an HF1 buy, which is one of my favorites. We did buy early. This buy came in, I'd say it's almost a good hour before the opening bell this morning. So we bought it, held it. When it did come back down, I was looking at a stop down here at 41.41, at 44.41. When it could not go through there and it bounced up, pulled back, came back through that little pivot, I went ahead and added, went ahead and added to my buy. I did have multiple opportunities to get out. I went ahead and chose, in this case, because everything was strong this morning, I went ahead and I took my profit after I went through level 2. Now, typically I'm going to get out at level 1, but in this case, I did get out at level 2. In fact, pretty sure I had, yeah, there was another level up here, but that hit much later in the day. It wasn't going to hold it that long. But I did have a really nice profit on the ES. Also had a really good day in stocks. Let's take a look at those setups. All right, so I want to take a look at this losing trade here on GRRR. If you recall from yesterday, I was coming in long overnight on MOB and RIOT. I did get out of those. We'll look at those results here in a minute. But I exited those pretty much as soon as I started trading this morning, which was I think it was around 8:30 or something, about an hour before the opening. But anyway, I went ahead. And I did have a nice little HF1 buy on GRRR. I really liked it because when I look at the watch list, we had over 700,000 already in volume, and had a penny spread on the bid and ask. Was watching, looking at Bookmap, which shows me the order flow. Had good order flow. Really thought it was going to take off. I mean, we're seeing a lot of stocks moving higher, and I really thought that I was going to go beyond the first level. It did actually hit my level number 1. I could have gotten out and taken profit. I did not. I held on a little bit too long. And I really thought that when we were going sideways here, we were going to bounce. Once again, remember, I'm always looking for that nice little opening. So if I can survive to the opening, a lot of times I'll get that thrust. So I'm okay to take a little bit of pain going into the opening. And then hopefully you're going to see, in this case, it's one of those situations where it didn't do anything. It just died on me. So I went ahead and got out, took a loss. That was my biggest loss. Now, the biggest win came in on, or one of the biggest wins came in on SOS, and that was the one that really took off. So let's take a look at that SOS trade. All right, so here's the SOS trade. So this is what I'm talking about. Buy before the opening. Just kind of going sideways, not really doing anything, right? Then as soon as you get the opening bell, that's 9:30 Eastern time. I mean, this thing just exploded. Hit target number 1, quickly hit target number 2, and then we're going up to target number 3. Ended up getting another HF1 buy up here, so I went ahead and I added to SOS on the second HF1 buy. And what I ended up doing is I had 2 additional targets from this particular pattern setting up. I was thinking I had a third one. Anyway, I know I had these 2 here. So once it penetrated and went through this target, show you, I ended up taking profit right over here. So it did go through my target number 1 on this second HF1 buy. went through target number 2 and had this really sharp pullback. So I ended up getting out just slightly above that first target level. So that was a really good trade. So let's take a look and see how we did overall here. So, and I did also want to show you a couple things. So this is the morning watch list. You can see some of these trades I took directly off the morning watch list, as I do, as well as I also have an afternoon watch list. Okay, so the idea of the afternoon watch list is a lot of times when we have these end of the day moves, if you're familiar with how the markets move, they typically have high volatility in the morning, and then at the end of the day you see some continuation, some additional volatility. They call it power hour. So I do a pre-scan before that, and so I look to see if there's any nice opportunities with patterns setting up and seeing some buying interest coming into it in the afternoon. So I like to take another shot at it. Sometimes there's nothing there, and sometimes there is. So anyway, overall, you can see I had this big loss here on GRRR, but I did pick it up on SOS. Also had a really nice trade on BDRX. Now, as far as RIOT, I did get out of RIOT. Unfortunately, didn't make what I got. I had a lot more profit on this trade. Going into yesterday, I had a lot more profit on RIOT, but carrying it over, I gave a lot of it back, unfortunately. But I did pretty good on MOB, so I made money on MOB. But as far as the trade that I really, I could have really added a lot on this SOS. I did not. I could have done even much better. That was the only thing that that I was really disappointed in, but I can't just be disappointed in the results. E-mini S&P, I mean, it was strictly a buy period, and I got out of that, made a nice little profit on the E-mini S&P. Once again, love the indices. Now, the thing about these stocks, let's go back and let's look at something here. A lot of times, if let's say I have a target on a stock. Now, once again, I am just a buyer, but a lot of times I'll also have patterns that will set up for a short and or I'll get reversals. So a lot of times on an HF1 buy, I'll get a buy, but I also may have a shorting opportunity down there. I will not reverse. Okay, I don't reverse on these stocks. I don't go short. I'm just taking the buys. So whereas in these indices, I will take short. So you're going to notice that when I'm trading stocks, strictly a buyer right now, but when I'm trading the indices or I'm trading gold or any of the futures, any of the commodities, I will play it both ways, particularly in the indices, because I've been doing indices for 40 years. So I really understand the E-mini S&P. They're all pretty much the same, but I like trading, just a group of stocks like that. And so anyway, I really understand the indices pretty well, and it's also a really good market to where if for some reason one of my patterns do not hold up, then typically that reversal pattern that's setting up will catch a nice little move. Didn't have to do that today though. It was strictly a buy, and that was it. It just went up, hit target, and that was the end of it. So overall, not a bad day. Really need to do better on this GRRR. When it was going sideways and didn't see a whole lot of buying coming into it, I don't know. I mean, I just, right after the opening, maybe I could have got out a little bit sooner on GRRR, but, it is what it is, guys. Part of this game is you're going to have to take your losses, and sometimes they're bigger than you expect. But that's just the way that it is. So you've got to be willing to take those losses. Got to be willing to push it a little bit too. All right. If you're too timid, when you're trading, you're going to probably end up losing money. You got to be, got to be a little bit more aggressive when you're trading. And that's the one thing I see a lot of new traders. I mean, even traders that have been trading for 10, 20 years, they're just so afraid of taking a loss, or they're trying to go for a 2 or 3 to 1. And, that's very difficult to do. Coming in saying I'm only going to risk, $500, but I'm going to make 15, is not an easy way of trading. You got to do it more off a market structure, not some sort of dollar value or because the problem is that it's pretty easy to take that $500 loss. The problem is getting that $1,500 win. So when you're doing that, the prompt, you're going to find over a long period of time that that you're probably going to end up losing money, particularly since volatility in the market changes so much. So what may seem like a lot of money on a $10 stock, right, is nothing on a $500 stock. So, you know, as the value of your stocks go up, you're going to have to take, yes, you're going to have potential to make more, but you're also going to have to take more risk because of the volatility of the stock itself. So anyway, that being said, coming up on Wednesday, and I like Wednesdays, but my favorite is Thursdays, but I do like Wednesdays. So I'm looking forward to doing some trading tomorrow. Once again, all those that are in the Discord channel, make sure that you get a hold of this watch list. It comes out every morning. I do put it out. Make sure that you're looking at that watch list and take a look at, see if there's volume in there, but make sure that don't take a trade unless you're seeing several patterns setting up. I like to take, when I'm seeing several patterns, get multiple levels in here to trade instead of just one level. So if I'm setting up for a pattern and I only see one level, I'm more likely not to take it if I see another stock that has 2 or 3 levels setting up all at the same time. That means we're having multiple patterns setting up for that buy, which tends to be a stronger trade than one that may only project one level up. All right, that's it. Everybody have a good day. See you hopefully first thing tomorrow morning during our live broadcast on YouTube.